Right, we're in early July. The weather's not been brilliant this year, but we're going to do a garden tour nonetheless. So let's walk into the back garden and see what's going on. So, tree ferns doing really well. Done a decent flush. Got the DIY greenhouse there, doing a good job. Got a lot of palm seedlings in there. This is the arid bed with more of a lush tropical border. You can see the wind's just suddenly got up. I don't know, hope it's not affecting the audio too much. The Lucifer Cocosmia is now starting to flower. That is such a strong vermilion red colour, really quite deep red. Very nice. We've got a few bits and pieces down here. Didn't normally go into this area. We have got a Echium there that survived the winter. We've got a little hydrangea starting to flower there. So the arid bed itself is already starting to get overgrown again with weeds, but the lot of little yuccas and cacti in there, but the three big main plants is the Mexican lily, the Brahea amata, and the variegated agave americana. So yeah, we've got a lot of sort of cocosmia and tiger flowers and various sort of flowering perennials in here. We did have loads of dahlias, which the story of this season is they've come up and got eaten several times. I think they've given up now. A lot of the elephant ears, colocaceas. So we've got Escalenta there, we've got the Fonticii, we've got another Escalenta, we've got pink china, loads of pink chinas, another Escalenta, pink chinas. This is a Metallica. It's quite a dark stem on that one. Loads of pink chinas under there, and we've got a burgundy stem there as well. We have got a little Jack's giant in the shade there at the moment. Yeah, a lot of these elephant ears will need a lot more heat to get going properly, and we just haven't had it. Flamethrower palm, Chamberonia microcarpa, is outside for the summer now. We've got a big spear coming, so hopefully when the time comes and it opens up nice red, we'll probably do a little video on that. So we've got a new raised area here which I've done, which is got the Parajabaya in it, which is still recovering from a lot of root damage when I got it, so not done much. But we've put some little plants in here, some palms. We've got a Phoenix rupicola there and a Phoenix robellini the other side, along with some other bits. Cycad revoluta sago palm is looking like it's going to flush very soon, so that's good. So we've got a few palms here. We've got a Waggy, we've got a Nova, and then we've got sort of banana corner, as I call it. So we've got lots of Musabaju at the back. We've got a Enset Morellii red banana there. We've got some Siconensis Bengal tiger, which are always looking quite nice with the stripes on the leaves. we've got a little dwarf Cavendish at the front here, and then we've got the Enset Heniba there. So that's pushing, most of these bananas now pushing sort of 6 foot, but again we've had such a poor start to summer, and it's at the moment not looking much better for the next week or so, but I'm not going to complain about the weather. We have got an alocasia there, Alocasia macrorrhiza. Again, lots of colocaceas which have survived the winter and coming up. They tend to come up everywhere. Little one here, another one here, along with a lot of other stuff which again been disappointing this year. We've got a Dickium greeny eye, which is the hardy ginger lily there. Got a little Boutia aerospaitha, which is now pushing out a couple of good leaves on that. I'll try and go through the main plants and any little things that take my notice. So this is the Camadoria. No, it isn't. This is the Camarops volcano. So this is the one that's with the really sort of stiff, tight leaves. My favourite Camarops, just because it's tough. When all the others in the garden spear pulled, this one didn't, and it gets very little spotting on the leaves. Right, what we got? We got a Cordyline Torbay Dazzler. No real damage to speak of over winter on that one. That's been doing quite well. Believe it or not, there's a lot of plants in this border which you can't even see. I have got a little Trachycarpus at the back there, along with a Magnolia, the evergreen Magnolia grandiflora. We've got a big Boutia odorata. So again, this one basically took no damage over winter, growing really well considering the weather conditions, pushing out a couple of new fronds. So we've got the little Musella lessicarpa. Yeah, it survived winter and lots of pups on that, doing really well. Again, lots of elephant ears coming up, left in the ground, not as big as they should be. Nice little Xanthidicias here. These are the dwarf ones, the coloured flowers. The grapevine, as usual, has gone mad. I have to start trimming some of that back. Again, with the it's not the only thing that's gone mad. We've got the passion vine here, which I'm leaving this one because it's got loads of flower buds on it. So we'll let that flower before I trim that. The mule palm, or Butiagrus aerospaitha, is getting a bit drowned out at the moment. It is, since it's gone in the ground, it has opened a new frond and starting to open another one. Story of this, I say summer, I mean we're sort of getting close to midsummer now, is the dahlias and the cannas have really not performed well this year. We've got a Indica purpurea canna there. It's literally only a couple of foot. Got nice big leaves on it, but been really slow due to the cool wet weather. We've got a Musifolia here, Canna Musifolia again. This is what's been happening. The slug damage is not getting outgrown by the speed of the plant, so it's starting to take off now. We did have a warm patch last week, so it did help. And Washingtonia robusta trying to open a new leaf. Not looking too bad. Took minimal damage over the winter. What else we got? Schefflera de Levii. So this put out a nice flush with some quite nice sort of cut leaves on this, but in general they tend to be sort of more, I mean they do vary a bit, sort of big chunky leaves for Schefflera, and that is one of the hardest ones you can grow. Persicaria painter's palette, quite nice. A nice pineapple lily down here coming up, quite a big one. Nice chunky leaves on that. Right, so coming round here, we've got some more Xanthodescia there, one still in flower. Some sort of bug enjoying the nectar on that. We've got that little, another ginger lily here, variegated one. That is Dr. Moy. So again, very, very tough. Comes back every year, but never really performs unless we get a really decent warm summer. Gibrea chilensis. Still pushing out new spears, but again could do with a bit more heat to get that going properly. So these, again, story every year. These Colocasia esculenta, left in the ground, come back every year. Nice little plants. So we've got the slow growing palm bed here. I'll do a separate video on this at some point, but needless to say, not much growing's been happening due to the, again, the cool weather we've been getting, but pink china everywhere. The Princeps, Trachycactus Princeps, made a good comeback after a really quite nasty spear pull a couple of winters back. I thought I was going to lose it. It's come back well. Really white undersides, really nice leaf on that. And then we've got the Eucomus Sparkling Burgundy. No flower spikes yet on that. Sometimes they flower, sometimes they don't. I think all of them flowered last year. So whether we'll get any flowers this year, I don't know. Not too fussed, it's more about the foliage on them. Really nice. Nice strong colour and sort of really quite sort of broad leaves on that. And you get a lot bigger than your standard pineapple lilies. Right, so that's kind of the border we've just looked at. I looked at some plants in there. Centre bed. So now we're going to do the other side of the garden, which I call the shadier border, which is still in sun at the moment because we're still only mid-morning. The gunner is done very well. I have had to cut a couple of leaves off, but still huge. Well over 4 foot across some of them, maybe even pushing 5, and well over 8 foot tall. I did do a video on all the potted palms and things I got down there the other week, so I won't go into all them. More elephant ears coming up, more cannas getting eaten as they come up. So again, a good reason to grow a wide variety of plants rather than just rely on certain, your cannas and dahlias, because a summer like this, they're not going to come to their full potential. So yeah, so we can rely on some other plants instead. We've got this nice tree fern. It is about 3.5 foot of trunk, really big flush this year. Obviously we kept a lot of the green from last year. This is the new flush. Something I weren't expecting was the head to divide into two, so there's basically two separate heads on that now, so that's going to be a double header. It's only shown itself this year. Wasn't too fast, I do prefer a single head, to be honest. Yeah, so we've got the pedicites under here. That's the palmatum with the gold spots. Again, bit of slug damage, but the thing is these do grow so quick that it tends to sort of keep up with the damage and outgrow it almost. Another little hydrangea which I think has always been there, never really comes to much. Never had the heart to pull it out, so it's still there. So we've got little Rhapis excelsior here. This is one I've had in a pot for a few years. I think I did do a video on it when I bought it. So it might have been about 3 years ago. And I've had it as an indoor-outdoor palm for the time I've had it. And I did have a Kentia palm here, planted last year. Didn't survive the winter. Not really a surprise, so we're going to try this one instead. This is the Rhapis excelsior. Gets a little bit of sun for a few hours, sort of morning, and then that's in shade for the rest of the day. That has got several growing points on that, and they are sort of a clustering palm. Quite nice palm, so we'll see how that one does. See if that survives the winter. So we've got ferns and rhododendrons here. Got quite a nice little painted fern underneath here, which always gets lost underneath all the foliage. Nice purple one. Talking of purple, we've got the Persian shields there. A nice purple pop in a lot of green foliage. You can't really go wrong with these. They're really nice plants. And the vibrancy of the purple when they come out really are quite nice. A lot of Fatsias. Got another Butea odorata there. My favourite one I've got in the garden. Yeah, so we've just got sort of bedding plants around that. That is in a slightly raised bed there. So we've got the bromeliads and some sort of bedding begonias and that sort of thing. Did have out of nowhere, got a little burgundy stem colocasia show up. So whether it's in a bit of recycled soil, pot and mix, or whether it just found its way there, I don't know, but it's popped up anyway. Persicaria red dragon. The hostas. This one is not T-Rex. That's the other one. This one is blue mammoth, and that got some insect damage, but the flowers are still quite nice. Got a little begonia luxuriance, which I haven't really been watering enough, so it's probably struggling a little bit, but it is pushing out new growth. Another Fatsia. We've got another Persian shield there. Again, just a really good contrast to a lot of the green foliage, just to have that purple pop there. Quite like that. Livingstoner chinensis. One of my favourite fan palms, just for the pure tropical look of it. Very different to your Trachycarpus or anything like that. I don't know, just something about it. I like the leaf shape and the colour. Did take a bit of damage over winter. I have cut the damaged fronds off, so we've just got good fronds left. Really need some heat to get it going. We have got 4 heads on this, and they're all got new spears just waiting to come out. It's just a matter of the heat coming to get that going properly. One of these little tropical cordylines here. Again, some more bromeliads. So this T-Rex Tetrapanax is been slow. I'm not surprised that it was in a pot. I've only planted it out this year, so I'm not expecting huge growth at all this year. But just get the roots in, and next year that should take off and quite nicely fill this fence area here where we've got a bit of a gap and bare fence. That is the plan with that one. Little caladium. This is red flash. It has tried to open a new leaf here. I can see there's a little bit of damage on that already. Not really getting the temperatures for caladiums. They're not going to be growing a huge amount. This is a nice little caladium as well. Yeah, they do really want high temperatures, what we'll be getting, so they're probably struggling a little bit, to be fair. Little sneaky Enset Morellii there. We've got your standard Schefflera Taiwaniana there. It's put out this nice flush this year, it's doing well. Underneath that we've got a Regerzia, which again pretty much getting eaten alive by the slugs. Can't have anything nice in my garden with the slugs. My favourite cordyline, that is the Superstar cordyline. I like that just for the wide leaves and the colour of it. Again, just a nice sort of purple pop in the sea of green. It does just brings it all to life. We've got, which was a small Trachycarpus fortuna, is now getting a reasonable size. It's over 6 foot with the leaves on that. We've got another little waggy there, Trachycarpus wagneranus. Right next to it we've got a Camerops humilis. The peonies of flowers have gone over on them, so I've cut all them off. So we come to the big cordylines, and I can only estimate the height on them. They are at least 16 to 18 foot, I'd guess. But they've been self-seeding all over the garden as usual. And we have got this one here, for instance. This is well over 5.5 foot self-seeded. This one is smaller, and we've got more everywhere. So they have sort of naturalised in the garden. I pull them out where I don't want them. If I'm happy for them to be there, then they can stay. But yeah, I don't think I'd be without cordylines. They are a common but underestimated plant. They do set the scene, and it does give a lot of shade to my biggest tree fern. This is a 5 footer, and very decent flush on that this year as well. Very happy with that. So we've got a Pseudopanax ferox there. I bought this about a year ago. It's a very small plant that's been growing. Unusual dead stick looking thing at the moment anyway, until that matures, which is going to be, need to get a lot bigger before they change the leaf shape on that. So at the back here we've got some small plants we've only just planted up this spring, but we have got the big leaf rhododendron there, the new flush on it, and the new leaves are averaging about a foot. I think the biggest one's nearly 1.5 foot. So reasonable size, quite happy with that. We've got a Cyathea cooperi here, which is doing okay. Got the big acer in the corner. And we've got another Bootea odorata, one of my favourite cold hardy palms. And we've got another cycad here, the sago palm, and that is looking like it's going to flush as well. So that's not going to be long before that starts pushing out and give me a nice set of new leaves on that. So we've got this corner here, with a lot going on. We've got the big eucalyptus right in the corner. We've obviously got the bamboo and a few palms and other plants tucked in here, all doing quite well. Sum and substance hosta, big leaves, but as usual getting eaten by the slugs. The hardy parlour palm, looking very good, looking really good after winter. And probably my favourite Camrops humilis in the garden, standard, but because it's shade grown, it's got really big fronds on that. I quite like the look of that compared to what you'd normally get in the full sunlight. So again, my biggest Trachycarpus fortunei is there. It is probably about 10 foot. It's about 6 foot of trunk. Red Star, my biggest one, so that's about 7 foot with about 5 foot of trunk. And the Phoenix canariensis, let's see if we can get in. I still wouldn't really say it's trunking yet. I suppose it is. It's probably 1.5 foot of trunk from the ground level, but you can see by the size of some of these petiole bases that it really is a bit of a beast. I can't even reach my hand round that, that's how wide some of these are. So that's done well. I put on a bit of a growth spurt the last couple of years, but I'm guessing that's going to slow down a bit now. But yeah, that's looking rather good. So we've got a few pots randomly in the middle of the lawn here. I was doing a little tester this year to see if I wanted another raised bed or not, if I could get away with it. And I probably could, but I'm still not sure. So we've got the Bootea agricerespaza there, which has been doing very well. Opened up this new frond here, and got another one coming. And this is one of my favourite agaves. It's agave tenuata or foxtail agave. I don't know if it's going to come out on camera, but you get that sort of bluey, whitey sheen sort of throughout the leaves as they open up. Really nice, really soft agave, so you can't hurt yourself on that. Probably my favourite agave, just not very hardy, so we'll need winter protection. Then we've got the Cordyline Red Heart, which I bought a few months back, so we can see why it gets its name, the bright red centre. It kind of goes through the leaves. The new leaves do sort of come out reddish, and they sort of fade down to an off green with a sort of yellow stripe in them. But yeah, quite a nice cord line, that one. So we're coming to the pond area. We've got another Mexican lily here. This is the variegated one. Very, very tough plants, something that doesn't look like it's going to be hardy, because they are soft leaves. They don't look like they're going to be hardy at all, but really no damage at all over winter. I've been growing, I've got the big one in the arid bed, and that's been there for at least 4 years. Never ever had an issue with it. The only damage you get on that is insects again, the slugs and whatnot. Yeah, so we've got a selection of coloured cord lines here. I think we've got 7 Southern Splendor. We've got a coral cord line there, so sort of a multi-toned coral colour. And then we've got a standard red star, which, to be fair, took the most damage out of all the cord lines over winter. So I think it can put people off growing nice sort of fancy coloured cord lines. And they say, well, if the red star, which is the sort of commonly available one, is not very tough, then a lot of the others won't be. Well, my experience is that this Southern Splendor has took no real damage over winter. Yeah, some of the old leaves, fronds, do tend to go off colour a bit, which they will. That's just down to aging. But yeah, you can see with the red star, you tend to get sort of patchy browny bits, which is sort of cold damage. Alright, so we sort of done a video last week on the colocaceae growing around the pond. You can see the pink china is starting to take over here. I mean, the leaves aren't massive by any means, they're still only about a foot long, but it's starting to drown out the black magic there. Yeah, so that is the goldfish pond with all the elephant ears, the colocaceae in various stages of either the waterfall or in the pond. I am quite enjoying that blue Hawaii colocaceae. I have grown it before, didn't really do much for me, but this is quite an established clump, so that's doing okay. Right, so the palms in the centre bed here. So we've got a queen palm here. So this is the mountain form, so it's probably the hardiest type of queen palm you can get, and it took winter really well. I thought it didn't take any damage at all, but I was wrong. It did take a little bit of damage. I don't know if you can see, there's sort of a small brown area on one of the fronds there, which obviously was down in the base over winter and has pushed out since, so there's a few brown leaflets on that frond, but other than that, it's done really well. None of the old foliage took any damage, so I'm quite impressed with that. And then obviously we're back to the sunny border again. So again, we've got another what can't I say, that Southern Splendor cord line there, another red star there. Well, I think that's it's not a red star, it might be red sensation, which is similar, but it's I think it's more of a matte leaf. And we've got the palm grass coming through from underneath here, so that is Ceteria palmifolia. So it looks very much like a pleated palm leaf. Quite nice. Definitely hardiness given credit for. I've had this in the garden 2 years, even through that very bad winter, a couple of winters back, and came back every time. Again, some more little elephant ears in the ground here. We've got a little white lava, coal miner and an escalenta, and we've got the same over here. This is a white lava, which is a bit more of a mature leaf. So that's basically what's going on. So I mean, even though we've had a disappointing poor start to this year, and it may not even get any better, but you know, again, when you grow a wide variety of plants rather than rely on just you know, some of your more fancy cannas and dahlias, this, that and the other. I'm not sure there's people that said, oh, my cannas are doing really well, my dahlias have flowered already. Well, that's not probably the same case for everyone. It's certainly not the case for me anyway. So yeah, again, good variety of plants, gives you plenty of interest, and don't be scared to put your house plants outside. Obviously give them a good acclimation period to the sun and wind, but if you have got any sort of gaps in the border which need filling, and you know, something didn't come up or didn't make it, then put a tropical looking house plant in there instead, like this alocasia. It's just sitting in a pot. You can't see the pot because it's in the foliage, so all you see is the leaves coming up. Looks like it's in the ground, but it's not, it's in a pot. So call it cheating, call it what you like. It's a lot easier to control something in a pot and water and feed it in a pot than it is put them in the ground and then having to dig it up at the end of the year and disturb the roots. Right, so what we're going to do is leave it there. We'll kind of finish where we started. These Cocosmia, because they're at the moment pretty much the star of the show. I don't think you can have you can't have a tropical garden without lots of colour. I mean, I've got a lot of green, I know that, but you've got to have the pop of colours, and maybe later on in the season when the cannas are flowering, you'll have them and the dahlias, but until then, plants like this are a good solid doer. No matter what the weather, they'll still flower. Right, we're going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.